Good morning, friends. Welcome to a bookish video. Now, today, my first order of business is to go to IKEA. It's very convenient living like 15 minutes away. So my room is being overrun by books. So those are boxes of books. On my desk are stacks of books. Just off to the side, more books. Lots and lots of books. So I have a shelf in mind that I want to buy for like over here. And I'm gonna have my TBR cart, which I'm going to fill in a different video, I think, with a bunch of books I want to read this summer. And then hopefully I can finish organizing my bedroom, get all these stacks and boxes of books organized. That's kind of top priority because our house is really close to feeling complete and livable and not just stacks of books, but our room, you really can't see it all. A lot of it's hiding behind the bed. There's a lot of books. So I'm thinking that bookshelf will solve a lot of my problems and then I'll feel a little better. And I also want to start a book today, first day of June. This is like a month I'm just so excited about. I have a bunch of books I could choose from. I have a bunch of books that I need to do a book haul for that I might choose from. I was thinking of looking at Tiffany's summer book bingo, seeing if I can get something to fit that, and taking a look at the other summer readathons or June readathons that are going on, seeing if I can find a book that will fit multiple of those. So we're gonna see. First thing though, go to IKEA. I totally meant to film at IKEA, but we really got into it. So got box 1 and box 2. And, you know, a few other things. Soon, I think I'll have everything I need and we'll be done stopping at IKEA every few days. But I'm gonna eat some lunch and then put this together. She's all set up for right now. I love how it's looking. Now what I need to do is, I think the top shelf, I'm gonna put my currently reading books on there or that month's TBR or something. And then the other shelves will be for my unread books, except I'm going to do a video putting my like summer TBR books in my cart, which is currently holding lights and some currently reading books. So going to work on organizing this now. Okay, change of plans, guys. I've decided it's not going on this wall, which has nothing else other than like the floor is just a mess. But I feel like it's gonna look funny there. So we're gonna whip over here to my stacks of books. My computer, I'm gonna change things up here. I'm gonna move my desk flush with the wall here. And then I think there'll be space there. And then I just need to move my computer tower. I think I'm getting a laptop anyway. And then here's that mess of books I was talking about earlier that was kind of hidden behind my door. There's a lot of books to clean up. I've changed my mind a few times here. I think I like this better. I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna pick out my next read and let this sit a little bit before adding a bunch of books in case I change my mind again. I'm gonna grab Tiffany's bingo board that I printed. I am really cheap when it comes to ink and I just printed out like the actual prompt part. Does she have anything fantasy? Is there a fantasy one? There is a fantasy one. Or a new to you author. I bought a couple books for myself for my birthday and I kind of want to make one of them work. Judge a book by its cover. I'm gonna grab my books. Actually, she has a Buzzy book And I feel like this, I'm just making sure, this might be the best one because I feel like I am one of the last people in my little circle on BookTube to have ever read this book, and everyone loves it. Heart of Red, Blood of Blue by Rebecca Belliston. A girl on the run, a kingdom to save. And, ooh, that's cool. Didn't expect that. This is a fantasy. Wow. Can a girl who started the war find a way to end it? Gisela of Steinland was born without color, albino. To add to this curse, her betrothal to Prince Jarek of Kronga ends in his death and starts a 10-year war her father is determined to win, even if it means bringing her out of hiding to do it. Now the savage Krongan war commander, bloodless Kristoff, seeks the hearts of the entire royal family, especially Gisela's. I think I'm gonna go with this one. It's decently big. It's 391 pages. So I'm gonna start this book, even though it's not on my June TBR at all. So I'll show you how I've organized it for now. There's going to be some rearranging. I know there's some books that still need to go on here that aren't, but this is what I've done so far. So up here I have like my currently reading books. These are my like mother education. I'm reading these very slowly, like a chapter a week. These are books that have carried over from other months that I haven't finished. This is just for fun, continuing to do. Then this shelf is pretty much my middle grade unread shelf. Then we merge down to my fantasy unread, some of my unread Agatha Christie. A bunch of them are on my bookshelf that we made in an earlier video. And then around here I've got my Dorothy Gilman, Mrs. Jeffries, and Josephine Tay are all over there. Then I have some unread classics. There's also a bunch on my shelf downstairs. There's like Shakespeare back there, and way over here is my L.M. Montgomery that's unread. And then we merge into like contemporary fiction-ish. Didn't know how to categorize a couple of those. And then you can see my L.M. Montgomery on the side, minus Mistress Pat, which this bar is covering up, but it's over there. And then we have historical fiction and non-fiction over here. I do have some other unread books in other spots, but that is most of them. welcome to Sunday. I have been really good in the last few months, with the exceptions of some weeks while we've been moving, of making Sunday a day of rest. This is the day where I can read and not feel guilty, do stuff with my family, that kind of thing. So I have been reading. It is what, like 1:30. We haven't gone to church yet. So the whole reason we moved to Edmonton is to plant a church. We are not ready to start that yet. So right now we're just checking out a bunch of churches, which is very interesting because it's really good to see how other churches gather and like the things that I would change, or like the things that maybe feel awkward or good as a visitor. Anyway, so we're going in a bit, but I wanted to check in on the books I've been reading and the challenges that I know I'm going to be doing for the summer. So Heart of Red, Blood of Blue by Rebecca Belliston. I started it yesterday. I read the prologue and now I've read the first 50 pages and I'm really enjoying it. So our main character's name is Gisela, and she was betrothed. Well, they tried to start the betrothal ceremony on her 7th birthday, and then on her 14th birthday she was going to get married. But during the betrothal, things went down and her betrothed ended up dead. And now the mother of the one she was supposed to marry has been out for her family for the last number of years. She's been in hiding for the last 10 years until something happens here and she is coming out of hiding. So far I'm really enjoying it. There's a little bit of humor. So our main character is Gisela, and when it was talking about how I think this was when her mother had told her. I love you too. Can you please close the door? 3-year-olds. Her mother had said, "So be brave, and on your 14th birthday, in exactly 7 more years, I will travel with you to witness your wedding." And then her thought was, could my parents not find a better way to celebrate my birthdays? And yeah, so there's like some humor amongst what is so far a pretty dark book, because she's been in hiding because someone wants to kill her. There's a lot going on. Really enjoying it. Definitely going to be continuing this. So this one wasn't on my June TBR at all, but I'm gonna use it for Tiffany's bingo for a Buzzy book, because it was a Buzzy book years ago and lots of people have read it. And then I also wanted to try out Lindsay and Sarah's Roll Your Next Read, except I'm not gonna be rolling. I'm just doing this for fun because they made the Roll Your Next Read a bingo board as well. So I was curious to see, and theirs is very different. Very curious to see if I can make things work on here. So they have a bunch of different prompts. I think they said you can choose a book or activity that meets the prompt. They're very vague, and I'm just gonna see if I can kind of work on both of these throughout the summer, and then I might do some shorter summer readathons or reading challenges as well. So possibly I might use this for color for the Roll Your Next Read, because it's very red. Like there's definitely a color going on here. I don't know if there's really any other word on here that makes sense to use it for, so that's probably what I'll do there. And then I just barely started the poetry of Lucy Maud Montgomery, and this has a terrible cover. So for Tiffany's, I don't know what I could use this for. I mean, I could potentially use it as a classic because her poetry she wrote years ago. I could potentially use it as Keep Putting Off because I meant to read it a while ago. So those are really the only ones, or maybe nonfiction since it's just poetry. I might use it for one of those, we'll see. And then for the Roll Your Next Read, I don't know. Oh, I could do Favorite because she's a favorite author, and also purple is my favorite color, although not this shade. Or possibly Nature because there's flowers on here. Oh, Tiffany has a nature prompt too. There's flowers on here, and I know a bunch of the poetry is going to be nature poetry. So I guess I'll wait and see what I end up reading for other books, but I got a couple different options on here for this. I'm gonna have to keep a running list of my books and what I'm using them for. so far 2 out of 2 started for June, and I'm enjoying them. Jared made the kids the coolest fort out of all our moving boxes. So I'm down here doing some reading while they are playing. I spent some time this afternoon reading. I am now halfway through, really enjoying it. There's a character that I was really annoyed by in the first bit. Like, I was enjoying the book, but this character was really bothering me, and they're no longer in it. So it's gotten better. Things are really picking up. Halfway through the book, excited to finish it, thoroughly enjoying my time, realizing that it's been a long time since I've been able to like sit down and enjoy reading. I don't have to feel guilty about not packing things or unpacking things. I mean, there's still a few things to do, but I feel a lot more relaxed than I have in months, so I'm really enjoying that. And then tomorrow, my plan is to hopefully get a library card. Hopefully I have enough proof that we live here to get one. There are a couple of libraries I can go to. At this point, I don't know exactly which one I'm gonna go to yet, but I'm gonna go to one. Hopefully they'll give me a card, and then I'll see what it looks like in there. I've never been to a library in a different province before, so I'm very curious to see what it's like. Hopefully they have a good system and I'll have access to books that I want to read. But I'm gonna spend a little bit more time reading now and see where the story goes. I think this is just a standalone. It doesn't say anything anywhere, so it should be a good amount of closure by the end. Okay, I'm gonna take Rika and we're gonna go to the library, but I made a mistake. There's like a fold line in my shirt from moving still, so I was gonna spray it, but apparently the spray bottle was on like jet spray, not spray, so hopefully that dries while we're driving, and hopefully I can actually get a library card. We'll see. Hopefully lots of things, I guess. They let me get a library card, so you know it's a good day. The one book I ended up taking out is Fairest. This is like a sub-story within the Lunar Chronicles. I think this one is, I don't remember exactly where it falls, but it's the Evil Queen's story. And I've always avoided it because I've been worried that it'll make me feel sympathetic to her, and she's like really the bad guy, and I want her to stay the bad guy, but I've heard people say that the book is good and I won't feel sympathetic to her, I think. I'm not sure. So I got that. I think I'm gonna change my library habits and be more of the person that browses the library, gets what there is. Although I did go and put a hold on a book right away. I really want to read Ali Carter's book she published last year, Blonde Identity, this summer. I feel like it's a summer read. It's very different than her other books, very different than what I normally read, but I enjoy her writing and I think it would be a good summer read. And then other books, so I started Pardonable Lies. This is Maisie Dobbs' story. I think this is book 3 or 4. I started it on audio yesterday when I was doing some errands. The audio was so terrible. There's a character in here that's like really stuck up and prissy that Maisie's talking to, and I couldn't even differentiate which voice was whose. And I've read books and I know Maisie isn't a stuck-up person, but she sure sounded like one. So I'm going to continue this, but like physically, and I'm really not in the mood for this right now, so I'm not sure when that will happen, but I'm kind of reading this. And then really what I want to do is finish Heart of Red, Blood of Blue. I read even more last night, got that far, more than halfway, and I just want to see how it ends. I think I'm going to end this vlog here. It's been a busy bookish last few days. Thanks for joining me. I would love to hear what kind of books you guys have been reading lately. If you have any recommendations for me, always leave them in the comments below.